I nearly lost $900,000 in a divorce, but destroyed my cheating wife in court with shocking evidence. I'm an elementary school teacher, so my work schedule is pretty predictable. I have fixed hours at school, and we have a staff meeting every Tuesday, usually ending by 6 p.m., meaning I typically get home around 7 p.m. My wife, Terry, whom I've been married to for 31 years, attended gym workouts on Tuesdays, where she'd get exhausted. So, I'd cook dinner while she showered and handled other household chores. However, one day, the school principal surprised us by canceling the meeting. It was only 3:30 p.m., and I decided to head home early to prepare dinner and tackle some chores before Terry returned from the gym. Lately, I'd noticed her growing more distant, and I hoped a candlelit dinner and a relaxed atmosphere, free from routine tasks, might reignite our passion. Our marriage had been strained by financial issues, and I'd observed Terry withdrawing, seeking more control over aspects of our life, and becoming stubborn and irritable when things didn't go her way. Despite these challenges, I considered myself a patient man. That day, I returned home and parked in our garage, located a distance from the house. A design choice from when we built it, as our kids were young, and we didn't want car noises disrupting their sleep, which was crucial for their health and our peace, giving us some alone time. I parked and took my usual path to our two-story home. I noticed Terry's car in the garage, but that wasn't unusual since she preferred taking the bus to the gym. I entered through the back door, thinking I'd tidy up. I enjoy minor home repairs, so all door hinges were in good shape and silent. Both Terry and I hated squeaky doors or creaky hinges. But the first thing that caught my eye was Terry's purse on the kitchen counter. Terry was meticulous about keeping things in place, and that's when I spotted other oddities. Her workout clothes and a large towel were strewn on the floor nearby. Then I heard sounds coming from our upstairs bedroom. I assumed Terry might have felt ill and gone up. Cautiously and quietly, I started up the stairs and nearly tripped over a pair of men's shoes left on the steps, definitely not mine, along with pants, a shirt, tank top, socks, and even Terry's special lingerie, reserved for occasions like our wedding anniversaries, scattered along the way. I froze, my skin prickling with cold sweat, my blood pressure dropping, and my heart skipping a beat. I had to sit on the stairs to steady myself. My disbelief turned to a rare surge of anger. Usually calm and balanced from years of teaching 30 kids daily, I'd never experienced this. I'd never even been in a real fight. These emotions were foreign. Amid this turmoil, curiosity drove me to creep upstairs. There were two doors, one to the bedroom, the other to the bathroom. To reach the bedroom, you pass through a shared bathroom connected to our spacious walk-in closet, which leads to the bedroom. At the closet door, I had a clear view through a slightly ajar door into the bedroom. It was like a horror movie scene I couldn't look away from. All this time, I'd heard moans and sounds, but now I was overwhelmed by anger and disbelief. I grabbed my phone and started recording what I witnessed, knowing I'd need this video later to confirm it was real, evidence for the confrontation ahead. My eyes were glued to the painful scene of betrayal unfolding before me. This was my wife, my beloved, my life partner, someone I trusted implicitly. She was the mother of our grown children, a 40-something woman who worked out, volunteered, and claimed to love me above all. I had to stop recording and quietly descend the stairs. I left the house and wandered aimlessly, ending up in a park a few kilometers away. There, I splashed water on my face, sat down, and watched the video on my phone, lowering the volume to avoid disturbing nearby kids. My shattered life played out on the screen, wreckage of our marriage, and I finally let the tears flow. It was around 7 p.m., my usual return time on meeting days. I found myself back at our house, standing at the back door, and Terry immediately sensed something was wrong. My disheveled look, red eyes, and pale face spoke volumes. With genuine concern, she asked, "Honey, what happened? You look so pale. Are you okay? I'll get you something to drink. Are you all right?" Her eyes showed worry. I couldn't bring myself to reveal the real reason for my state and replied shakily, "Not really. I've got an upset stomach, maybe from lunch. I'll take a shower and go to bed," Terry responded. "Okay, sweetie, but take a basin if you feel sick. Clean sheets will get ruined." Those once clean sheets were now stained by yesterday's dinner and betrayal. I replied more firmly, "It's fine. I'll sleep in the guest room until I feel better," and headed to the spare bedroom downstairs. That's how the next few days went. Terry continued her routine, seemingly oblivious, while I stayed in the guest room, citing possible illness. I knew I couldn't use that excuse forever. Eventually, I returned to our bedroom, but sleeping there, a place of betrayal, was tough. Terry acted as if nothing had happened. On Monday, I decided my next step, whether this was a long-term affair or a one-off. I told the school principal I needed an unexpected medical procedure the next day, and he arranged a substitute teacher. Tuesday morning, I left as usual but parked a few streets away, walking back to our neighborhood. I knew a route through neighbors' backyards near our house, moving cautiously to avoid being seen, and headed to the garage behind the house. There, I changed into casual clothes and soft, quiet shoes for stealth, then began the wait. I recalled that last week, when I returned unexpectedly, no strange car was parked, suggesting her lover likely walked. I crept through our garden, reaching a spot where I could watch our front door, hidden behind the hedges and bushes we'd planted for privacy. I waited, hearing Terry go about her usual tasks, unaware of my presence. Her confidence that all was normal was evident as she handled kitchen chores, washed dishes, loaded the dishwasher, then vacuumed and dusted the living room. This went on until about 11:30 a.m., when she went upstairs. I barely heard the shower, followed by a pause and a toilet flush. After 45 minutes, she came back down, opened the front door, and left it ajar for a potential guest. I didn't wait long. Around 12:30 p.m. he arrived. I didn't know who he was, but my phone recorded a 10-second video of his side profile and near full face as he entered without hesitation. The next words made my blood run cold. "Hope you're in your big workout outfit again." Terry's response was, "Of course, you always love it when I wear it. Sometimes I think that's what first attracted you, or maybe this." That was enough to confirm a long-term affair. Their casual interaction clearly showed it wasn't their first time. They headed to the bedroom. I returned to the garage, trying to compose myself, my heart pounding, wrestling with painful questions. Who was this man? I no longer believed in intimacy with Terry. I saw no signs of protection, raising health concerns with her having another partner. I wondered why she never discussed her feelings. Recalling her 2 years of gym workouts nearby, where she bonded with local married women and volunteered, I suspected the gym held answers. Update 1. As a teacher, I had access to computers, printers, and other resources, so I started investigating by printing photos of her lover from my phone video to identify him. It didn't take much to figure out who he was. The next Thursday, Terry had her gym session, and I suggested joining her. Maybe I'd get a membership, especially with a school break. Terry wasn't thrilled and made excuses, like it was a group of married women who mostly chatted, but I insisted and went with her. When I entered the gym, it felt like a classic Western saloon scene. Everyone turned to stare. Women exchanged glances, and I noticed Terry's unease. My blood sugar dropped, so I grabbed some jelly candies, and Terry was understanding. After eating, I sat nearby, observing her closely. She was visibly nervous, frequently glancing toward the staff area where trainers entered. I decided to explore the gym and spotted an employee info board near the exit. Flipping through it while waiting for Terry, I saw a top photo of a fit woman, hard to gauge her age, labeled Miss Elizabeth West, Director and Owner, with a contact number and office hours. Below were 3 more photos, 2 women and 1 man. I froze, realizing this man was Terry's lover. His description read, Mr. Philip Bond, Head of Training Planning and Personal Trainer. As I memorized his number, I noticed Terry was no longer on the machine I had last seen her at. I returned to my spot and scanned the gym, spotting her in a heated, desperate conversation with a man partially hidden by powerlifting equipment near the staff entrance. She gestured for him to leave, then rushed back to her machine, oblivious I'd noticed. I was boiling with rage, an emotion I rarely felt. When Terry returned, she asked if I was okay, noting my pallor. I said yes, my sugar was fine now, and asked if she was ready to go. Before she could answer, the director announced over the loudspeaker that the final workout was canceled because Mr. Bont felt ill and went home, drawing disappointed sighs from the women. His sessions were clearly valued. Terry showed no reaction, but seemed visibly relieved. She quickly said, "Let's go," grabbed her towel and bag from the storage area, and we left as a woman I didn't recognize approached Terry, lamenting the canceled session. Terry agreed and briskly headed to the car, signaling she didn't want to discuss it. "See you," she tossed back curtly, driving off faster than I'd ever seen. The ride home was silent. Terry leaned back, closed her eyes, and breathed deeply, deliberately relaxed. I thought her current calm might let me learn more. "That was quite an interesting workout, dear," I remarked. "The equipment's really top-notch. No wonder you're so fit and slim." "Thanks, honey," she replied. "You're right, they have a great program, and the women are friendly. Too bad Mr. Bont wasn't there today." I pressed. "Bont?" She corrected too quickly. "I mean Philip Bont. He usually ends each workout with exercises that really push you. It was a shame he wasn't there." Inside, I seethed at her lies, knowing how far Mr. Bont went with her body, but only said, "Maybe he'll feel better next Thursday." I couldn't shake the thought of their upcoming intimate encounter. The next week, I had playground duty at school pickup, a chaotic spot where kids rush home, chat with friends, and scan for parents. Parents need patience waiting for their car to reach the front. To my surprise, near the end, a car pulled up driven by the woman who tried talking to Terry at the gym. "Hello," she addressed me. "Sorry, I'm new to this and lost track of time. My son Timothy is here." Teachers know this happens when parents adjust to school routines, so I assured her I'd find Timothy while colleagues watched the remaining kids. I found him near his classroom, chatting with another student. "Hey, Tim," I said. "Your mom's here to pick you up. Let's go to the pickup area." He looked puzzled. He was in the final elementary grade and didn't seem the type to forget pickup time. "That's odd," he noted. "Mom's usually busy with her fitness instructor on Fridays. She often picks me up late, sometimes 5:30 p.m. at my old school." Hearing fitness instructor heightened my suspicions. I kept the conversation light. "That's great she cares about her health. Physical activity's key to a healthy lifestyle. Do you know her instructor's name?" Hoping it wouldn't confirm my fears, he replied, "Bont or something. He works at the local gym and gives private lessons at home. That's who I want to be when I grow up. Mom really enjoys her Friday evening workouts with him. She looks so relaxed and glowing when we get home. On Fridays, we always order takeout since she rarely cooks." No way, I thought. This Bont was tangled with someone else besides my wife. I escorted Timothy to the car, where his mom thanked me. "No problem," I replied. "It's part of the job. By the way, I don't think we've met. I'm Gerard D. Dot. The kids call me Mr. D. Nice to meet you, she said, shaking my hand. I'm Mary Jones. I think I saw you at the gym last Thursday. I was there with your wife, Terry. Sorry, she seemed rushed when she left. Mr. Bond's absence threw off the whole schedule that day. Her demeanor shifted. Where she'd been apologetic, she now paled, grew tense, and stammered. Okay, Mr. D. See you later. Goodbye. Before speeding off. Update 2. It was time to consider my future, which looked grim. Me alone. Definitely not with Terry. My anger set me on a path of justice. I reviewed overlooked details of our life. Who pays the bills? Which insurance company do we use? When are utilities due? From which account do we pay monthly? I found we had a small mortgage left, and my pension had reached an impressive $900,000, thanks to our teachers' union mandating pension contributions. After discreet online research Terry didn't know about, I reluctantly concluded a 50-50 asset split was impossible. Our kids were financially independent, and we had $30,000 in savings for an overseas trip, now off the table. First, I needed to drain that account before Terry learned of her exposure. I subtly caused appliance breakdowns, unplugging wires when she wasn't home, then claimed a Mr. Someone, fixed them for cash, which I secretly saved, repairing them myself. This netted me about $20,000. I also bought tools and items with cash, showed them to Terry, then returned them the next day. I admit it was dishonest, but trust was gone, and her actions turned me into someone I never thought I'd be, a liar. Terry's Thursday workouts with Bont continued, and I stopped any intimacy with her. We coexisted like roommates. I began moving personal items in boxes to the garage. Terry rarely checked it, so she didn't notice as her car stayed in front. When she asked about missing items, I said I'd broken them or no longer needed them, which she accepted since they clashed with her preferred decor. With most of my things gone, the house barely changed, showing how much I deferred to her. I withdrew as much as possible from my pension, naming our kids as beneficiaries, and bought a small house on the city's edge, 2 bedrooms, a tiny yard, and a garage near my school. The remaining mortgage was manageable on half my salary, not a mansion, but a steel, outside flashy areas. I furnished it with secondhand items from charity shops, feeling my life, too, was used. It was time for justice. I spoke to Mary Jones again when she approached me during pickup. Alone with her son Timothy, she looked distressed, tears recent. As a teacher, I'm trained to notice such signs. Mr. D, can I talk to you for a minute? She asked anxiously. Of course, no one else is arriving. Just park there and come to my usual spot, I replied, calling the benches my office. She parked while Timothy played, and we Saturday. I'm not sure where to start. What I want to tell you, she began. I looked at her intently and cautiously said, I know Terry, my wife, loves going to that gym. Workouts keep her fit. She hesitated, then continued, There are things you need to know. Eager to cut to the chase, I asked, Is this about Philip Bont? She replied with clear outrage, You have no idea how much this involves that pig. I said, I can guess, but please go on. She said firmly, He preys on many regular gym-goers. When I asked how she knew, she teared up. I was one of them until last month. We met every Friday at 12:30. She paused, reliving it. I turned away, recalling without joy. Sorry for sharing this, she apologized. I genuinely enjoyed what we had, but when another woman took my place, he ended it abruptly, offering no explanation. Just sorry, I can't anymore. I believe we had a future. I'm divorced, missed the affection and attention from my marriage, so I was excited to feel it again with him. I was so wrong. I was stunned by her candor. How could she think this was appropriate to share? She must have been deeply hurt. Trying to console her, I said hastily, "Family dynamics aren't always what they seem." She looked at my face, seeing my pain. "You already know, don't you?" she asked, shaking her head in disbelief. "You know he's involved with Terry, your wife?" I admitted. "Yes, I know, Mary. Thanks for sharing, though it's hard to hide my bitterness. I'm handling it. I believe in karma, and I think it'll catch him soon. This guy needs to answer for his actions. He doesn't care who he hurts as long as he feeds his sexual ego to brag to his bar buddies," Mary nearly shouted. "If you need help getting revenge, just let me know. He needs to pay, and pay fully." She called Timothy, and they left. I sat, lost in thought. Update 3. I felt some relief when Mary shared her story. My plan no longer seemed just a reaction to a failed marriage, but required deeper analysis. I wondered how many other gym women he'd used. It was time for concrete evidence. I marveled at his stamina. He worked daily except Mondays when the gym closed. Recalling his number from the gym board, I used a phone directory to find his address, 3 blocks from our house, explaining his convenient visits. I told Terry I'd take daily 5 p.m. walks, per my doctor's advice. She showed no interest in joining, knowing it wouldn't clash with her meetings. My first walk took me to Bonus' address, a first-floor apartment. His car was absent, so I lingered, tracking his return. He consistently left our house well before 6 p.m., likely returning around then. As expected, he entered at 6 p.m. daily when I could walk, except on meeting days. I suspected he followed this pattern when the gym was open, meeting different women. I took a week's leave, bought surveillance gear, long-range listening devices, and 5 motion-activated HD cameras with a portable hard drive. On Monday, I installed a camera in Bonus' apartment. It was a studio-like space, easy to cover except his bedroom. Waiting for him to leave for the gym, I used keys under his doormat, shockingly careless, and confirmed the camera worked, activating on movement or sound, streaming to my computer with timestamps. It recorded Bont eating takeout and sleeping by 9 p.m. Tuesday. After the gym closed, I entered via the back, placing another camera in a private room for personal health assessments, where Bont often trained clients. I wondered what kind of person I'd become, installing cameras and spying. Wednesday, while Terry shopped, I discreetly placed the 3rd and 4th cameras in our bedroom and living room. Reviewing Tuesday's footage, I was both surprised and not. Bont woke, left for breakfast, returned, and made a call. "Julie, hi, it's Phil." "He's gone? Good. See you at 12:30. Don't forget to wear what I said." "No, I'll be careful. No one will see me enter." "You said he's away for 3 days? Great, maybe I can come Thursday and Friday too. Talk today, love." He left with a spring in his step. Thursday, I set up in the garage with my computer, eagerly awaiting events. Bonus' camera showed him waking, getting breakfast, and calling Terry. "My husband's at work. See you at 12:30 as usual." Update 4. A teacher mom from school was eager to help, so I asked her to list women Bont had been involved with. She dove in, and within a week, I had names and addresses. Shockingly, Terry's was included. By then, I'd nearly severed ties with our home, now just a residence. Terry noticed the emptiness, and I said I'd been sorting my things. She accepted it since it didn't involve her stuff. I moved items from the garage to my new house, needing just 20 minutes to load and leave. I consulted a divorce lawyer. Documents were ready. I transferred vacation savings to my account, kept receipts for fake purchases, changed my pension beneficiaries to our kids, withdrew funds, opened separate bank accounts and credit cards, and re-registered the car to Terry, making her fully responsible. I couldn't control the house, relying on court. I got a new SIM, deactivated the old one, and compiled dossiers for each woman's husband or partner from Mary's list, including bonus address, clinic info for STD tests, given unprotected encounters, and sent a detailed letter to the gym owner, urging her to address her head trainer. On our kitchen table, I left divorce papers, printed surveillance photos of Bont and Terry, a DVD of their encounters, my wedding ring cut in half and coated with a distasteful substance, and a note. "Terry, I left you this damaged ring, coated in filth, symbolizing our marriage. Avoid contacting me. Reach out via the lawyer listed. I've requested a school no-contact order. Disrupting it will prompt police action. I've informed our kids to avoid confusion about the divorce's cause, sending them DVD copies to dispel false narratives." Final update. I moved to my new home, awaiting fallout. Local papers somehow learned of the gym scandal, forcing its closure and the owner's departure. Bont was found beaten in an alley. Suspected gang attack. Courts saw a surge in divorce filings, and many homes went up for sale. Terry returned that fateful day, found my gifts, and fainted. A 70-year-old neighbor, hearing her scream, witnessed the collapse and called an ambulance. Terry tried contacting me. Calls to my old number failed, and attempted visiting school, leading to her arrest. After a night in jail and a stern warning from a judge, her efforts dwindled. Our kids openly condemned her infidelity. Thankfully, both married, inheriting my fidelity values, not hers. The divorce finalized, financials settled routinely. Terry sold the house, buying a modest place on the outskirts where she now lives alone, dubbed one of the gym sluts. Public scorn and whispers drove her to a psychiatric hospital. I continue teaching, happily in my new home.